So today is day 6 of our phenomenon X. Our phenomenon experiment. And we started with I am a phenomenon. And then we got, oh, it's a lot. We tapped on it. And then we looked at all the phenomenon in nature, breaking down bioluminescence, just your normal things that we take for granted. We're like, oh, that silly thing, rainbows. But when we see it, we go, oh, look, there's a rainbow. And today, I wanted to continue a little bit with Ram Dass. Because his last film, Becoming Nobody, I knew exactly what that was about for him. Because I wrote about that in 2010, 2011. And I'm going to read it for you today. Because when we start to take labels, rather than being a phenomenon, you know, as we said on Wednesday, Ram Dass was about try to see the uniqueness in everyone rather than labeling everyone. And years ago, when I started on this path with others, healing others, which was not voluntarily to work with people, it was for my own father and my art. When I would help another person would ask me, and another person, people then started calling me a healer. And I would get supercharged about it. And I know other healers that don't like the word, and I had to look at my own resistance to this word and what it was loaded with. Just like an artist, you call them an artist, there's like, oh gosh, what does that mean? Who am I responsible to? What are the results? Results. You've got 10 pieces to get in before the end of the year. So once if I have a charge about something, I'm like, great, an opportunity to shift something. So I shifted it into this place where I didn't care at all whether you call me a healer or anything. And I noticed something really fundamentally shifted. People stopped calling me anything. They stopped calling me a Reiki master. They stopped calling me a healer. They stopped calling me their shaman. They stopped calling me their therapist. They stopped calling me whatever they would call me. And they would say to their friends, because I only worked by referral, really, you should go see Patty. And immediately someone would say, what does she do? And they would say, you just need to go see Patty. And it created a freedom. But it also created this deep trust that person had for their friend. And they knew, they had seen something shift in them, and they were like, yeah, I need to go see Patty. So then when they came to me, I could use all the tools in my box without being a one-trick pony. And what I want to do today is go into this place where you are gonna start to embody this ideas and innovation that is lying inside of you that doesn't have a label. You know, when people sometimes see my art, my this, my that, and then they were like, well, I couldn't do my spiritual stuff because I had to call myself an artist, and now everything's mashing together where they can be all of it. Because that's what makes us interesting, is all the things that we've been studying, been drawn to. You know, Steve Jobs wouldn't be Steve Jobs if he didn't read every year the autobiography of a yogi. He wouldn't be Steve Jobs if he hadn't created Pixar and Woody, and had that whole journey when he was ousted from his own company. He could have went away and licked his wounds for a long time, but he started Pixar, and he was Woody. He was the disregarded toy, and that was his therapy. Sorry, there's paramedics. So today, I want you to suspend you trying to figure it out and thinking about what that would look like and what that is and what that would be, and allow yourself to know that it's going to be phenomenal. And right now, I don't know how phenomenal it's going to be, because I don't know how it's going to show up, but I know it's going to be phenomenal. So I'm going to read you I suppose it would be classed as a poem. But when I was riding through Griffith Park years ago on my horse, it came through complete in 3 minutes. And I think this says it all. So just close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Maybe it's the first one that you've done today that just centers you. I started off as nobody, trying to be somebody, living like everybody. But then I realized that anybody can be somebody, but not everybody is me. So then I asked this body, what would you like me to be? It replied, anything beyond what you can see. Beyond what you can see. What you know you could be. But right now you're going to beyond what you know. You may think that you want to be this or that. But what's beyond the this and the that? Whatever it is, it's phenomenal. . it's calling you specifically. And that phenomenalness is starting to bubble inside of you. In all your mechanisms and thinkings. I can't do that, it's too big. Why do I think I am? All these little things just start to subside. Because how phenomenal it's going to be is too potent. It's too rich. You can't ignore it. It keeps calling you. And it's beyond logic. How you're gonna make it happen. Because the moment you start to put your foot on the path towards it, things begin to show up. People, investment, funds, creatives, partners. And every time you hear that voice telling you it's too ambitious, it's too big for someone like you, you feel that it gives breath and life to this phenomenon more. It actually strengthens because you don't need to know how it's going to happen. In fact, you have no idea how it's going to happen. But you know it's possible. And it's going to be phenomenal. And it's going to feel phenomenal. And you're going to be that phenomenal being that just decided to be it. And you decided the practice of connecting into it made you feel so alive. just don't know how I'm going to do it. But I don't need to know. I just need to be willing to say yes. Yes. To it being phenomenal. Yes to the phenomenon that's choosing me. Yes. Let's go. Okay, I'll do it. What a ride. Go beyond what you can see. Go beyond the seeing place. Go to the feeling place. Listen into it intuitively. Hear the whispers. But you're gonna have to get very silent. Tuned in. Take a nice deep breath. And if you have your eyes closed, gently open your eyes. So that's your work over the weekend. Becoming nobody, just the person that this phenomenon is going to be phenomenal. And what they call you along the way is part and parcel. It's kind of irrelevant. Going back to the Buddha yesterday, his Wesak, his birth, enlightenment, and death celebration. When he was asked, are you a guru? Are you a spiritual teacher? When he became enlightened, are you this, are you that? And he said, I am awake. That's all. I'm awake to how phenomenal is going to be. Even if I'm clueless, but maybe have an inkling. I see it. I see past it. And I feel into it. Fantastic. That was so good. Thank you for joining. So, that's your homework over the weekend. going there.